Hey guys, if you're watching this, you know it's for the test retake, and I'm going to go through each question kind of individually and make sure that you have a good understanding of this. That way, when we're going forward from this point on, you have a good understanding and a good grasp on this idea of the founding documents. So I'm not going to spend too much time here, but you will need to watch this video in order to retake this portion of the test. So let's take a look here. You had to answer two of the three, and this question here about federalism was the most frequently missed question. And this is the one where I kind of drew something that looked like this. And I said, this is all of the power we have in America, right? And I said that some of the power goes here to the states. And I also said some of the power goes to this place, the national government. And I said that federalism, what federalism is where they take that power and they split it right down the middle. And some of the power belongs to the national government and some of it belongs to the state government. What is federalism? It's the shared power between the state and national governments. It's the shared power between the state and national governments. That's what the federal system of government is. This one, the Declaration of Independence, the purpose, all it was a breakup letter that what we need to know. It was a breakup letter where we broke up with Great Britain. I asked you to list 3 issues with the Articles of Confederation. I gave you guys 5. Weak central government, no money because they couldn't tax, arguing among states, one branch of government, no respect from other countries. All right. Those 5 key problems with our first written form of government, the Articles of Confederation. You have to identify those. You guys will need to know those things from this point on. All right. Down here, who wrote the Declaration? That was Thomas Jefferson. It was ratified the entire date, July 4th, 1776. Remember, I've told you, you will not need to know dates for this class, but that is one date that you do need to know, July 4th, 1776, Thomas Jefferson. Let's keep going here. How are the Federalist and Anti-Federalist papers different? What was created as a result of these? If you recall, the Federalists wanted a strong federal government. What color is George Washington's white horse? White. Who's buried in Grant's tomb? Grant. Who wanted a strong federal government? Federalists. Anti-Federalists wanted a weak federal government. And they thought a Bill of Rights was needed to limit the power of government. What was created? A Bill of Rights. We have a Bill of Rights, our first 10 amendments. Speaking of which, what are the Bill of Rights? The first 10 amendments, and they guarantee basic freedoms for all Americans. They guarantee basic freedoms, not natural rights. Natural rights are guaranteed in the Declaration, life, liberty, pursuit of happiness, but they guarantee basic freedoms. Let's take a look down here. You had to read this portion of the Declaration and briefly explain each of the following underlined portions. So let's take a look. Governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the government. Governments are instituted. Governments are created by people. And where do they get their power? From the people. Government's power comes from the permission of the governed, the consent of the governed. Government's power comes from you and your permission. It is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it and institute new government. What's this mean? It's your right to destroy government, overthrow government, and create new government if they take away your natural rights. If a government takes away your natural rights, you have the right to overthrow government. And finally, governments long established should not be changed for light and transient causes. Government shouldn't be changed for small issues. No, government should be changed for large, overarching issues. Finally, the 2 essay questions here. You only had to pick one. Explain how the Enlightenment ideas are related to the formation of America. I ask you to list at least 3 and their thinkers. Guys, we talked a ton about this. John Locke, for example, natural rights, overthrowing government, limited government. We talked about Voltaire, freedom of speech. Montesquieu, 3 branches of government, separation of powers, checks and balances. We talked about Adam Smith with laissez-faire. Any of those ideas would have worked because we still have those ideas in America today. And finally, how did the New Jersey plan and the Virginia plan differ? What decision was made? What's the difference between how representatives are chosen? Remember, New Jersey was a small state, so they wanted a unicameral government, one house legislature, where they thought, you know what, because we're small, we want to have equal representation amongst our state. They also wanted 3 branches of government. Virginia also wanted 3 branches of government, but they wanted a bicameral government, 2-house legislature, based on population. What decision was made? We had the Great Compromise. And during the Great Compromise, we have the House of Representatives now and the Senate. House of Representatives are based on a state's population. That's how many representatives they get. The Senate is equal amongst every state. Every state gets 2. There was also the 3/5 compromise in there on how we should deal with slaves. So guys, as you guys go through here, look at what you missed and be able to recall it and understand it. And if you have further questions, you can come see me anytime. Make sure you get a pass to come to BBB.